If an unknown pickup truck keeps coming back to your campsite in the middle of a freezing forest at midnight, at what point do you decide to pack up and leave? This couple waited almost until the very last second, when it might have been too late.
You guys need help or something?
On January 26, 2025, Brighton and his wife Soraya headed into one of the most isolated wilderness areas for a winter camping trip. Everything was going great. Building a makeshift shelter, starting a fire in -12-degree weather, with the only sound being the crunch of snow under their boots.
Our wool blanket set up. When we sat down in there, it's actually pretty warm, but most of the wind is coming through this way. So we're gonna build kind of a wall right here. Hopefully this keeps us warm.
But what was about to ruin the peace of this campsite that night wasn't the freezing cold, nor was it wild animals. It was something they hadn't even noticed yet.
Right now it's reading 14. Oh, that went up fast.
Winter wilderness, with all its breathtaking beauty, has a hidden trap, a false sense of security in isolation. When you step deep into a remote snow-covered forest, the complete absence of city noise makes you think you're totally alone. But sometimes that same silence can trick you into feeling safer than you really are.
It was about this time that we heard the first yell. We heard two guys way off in the distance yelling. I thought they might have been at my car. We were only a couple hundred yards away from it, and it came from that direction. I walked over to my car, but no one was there.
As the sun went down, the faint sound of two men shouting was heard from a distance. Brighton walked forward to check, but no one was there. All he could see were the cabin lights of a pickup truck parked at the edge of the field with its headlights completely off. Brighton quickly brushed it off.
Oh!
It's weird. You can tell how cold it is by how the snow sounds. It almost sounds like a plastic or something. So it's about -12 outside of the shelter. But inside of this shelter, we're reading 6 degrees.
When faced with suspicious behavior, our mind initially avoids panicking and tells itself, it's nothing, they're probably just travelers. But the situation dragged on for 30 minutes. A truck was parked in -12 degrees in the middle of rough mountain roads with no fire and no clear purpose. Suddenly, the headlights crept toward their car with its headlights off, flashed their high beams on them for a few seconds, and then turned everything off again. When Brighton flashed his flashlight back, they slammed the gas and sped away with screeching tires. The problem was, the night was just getting started.
At this point, it was quite a bit later than when I first walked down to check on my car. We were just sitting around the fire, and we kept hearing these two guys talking. I kept seeing this truck drive around in the field with its lights off. It started to make me feel a little bit uneasy because they'd been doing this for about half an hour. They didn't have a campfire going, and they seemed to be up there for no reason.
This is where the first big question pops up. If they were just people passing through, why did they bolt the second they were seen? And if they were looking for trouble, why didn't they approach from the start? A few minutes later, the headlights appeared again. This time, they circled the camp, stopped, and muffled footsteps could be heard on the snow. They had turned off the lights and were approaching on foot.
I kept my eye on these guys, and I walked down to my car every 15 minutes or so just to see if they had left, because their behavior was suspicious, but they weren't doing anything wrong. But things continued to get weirder. Then me and my wife were just sitting around the fire, and we see these lights coming towards our camp. And when they pulled in, they turned off their lights and slowly crept near our car.
Seeing the truck once might be a coincidence. The human brain usually ignores a strange event the first time, but when the same suspicious behavior repeats a second and third time, the brain suddenly connects the dots and the alarm bells go off. In moments like this, your brain stops overanalyzing. It just tells you, get out of here right now.
My immediate thought was maybe these guys think we're in trouble and maybe they think that we need help or something, or maybe they're just coming to check to see if we're okay. Once this truck got to where we had parked our car, they started shining their brights at us and they turned off the lights completely. We have a guy right there that parked this truck. He keeps shining his brights at us and he has not left us alone ever since we got here.
While they were frantically packing up their gear, the unknown truck headed straight for them once more. This time, a direct confrontation was unavoidable. Brighton, who was carrying a handgun, braced himself.
Here's the video footage we got of this. And he's got his lights completely off.
Really close to it though.
Okay, so sorry it's kind of dark, but he sat right there for like 5 minutes. He came like feet away from my car, like right here. And then I shone a light at him and he took off.
We're in the middle of nowhere, like super far from town.
All right, so I was just following his tracks a little bit. He chucked this out the window. I don't know what this guy's deal is, but I might follow him out and make sure he leaves.
Well, he kept shouting like stuff at us too. I don't know what. We couldn't really understand.
The truck pulled up. The passengers claimed they were just lost and got curious about what the light source was at the camp. On the surface, everything ended with an apology. But just a bit further up the road, they turned off their headlights again and waited in the pitch dark. So, if they really got their answer, why hide in the dark again? This behavior, at the very least, made it feel like they were checking them out and keeping an eye on the camp.
So this guy's coming towards us now. So we're gonna get in the Jeep.
Yeah, they turned back around. They're coming this way. They're coming up around us, like on the other side.
Once we got in the Jeep, we waited for them to come. I wanted to be in my car just in case they came back, so if we needed to, we could leave. But once they saw my car was on and that we were inside, they turned around and left.
Maybe those two men didn't actually have criminal intentions. Maybe they were just drunk, overly curious, or clueless about how terrifying they were being. But here's the thing. Deep in a dark, frozen forest, if you wait around to find out what they really want, you might not get another chance to escape. Brighton and Soraya decided not to take that risk.
So Soraya's here, and these guys sneaking up on us now with their lights off. Like, this is not normal, so we're gonna get out of here. We're not gonna be filming as much. We're just gonna be safe and get out of here. But then we heard them turn around and get back in their truck.
In survival psychology, the smartest decision isn't always to wait around until you know what someone really wants. It's to trust your gut when you see suspicious patterns and leave before it's too late.
I've spent hundreds of nights outside, and I'm totally fine camping next to people. Heck, I lived in a van and it was constantly around people, constantly in campsites and stuff. When people act like that, it's best to just leave. It's just not worth it.
Don't know what they're up to. We can get their rest tomorrow. That way we can get out of here fast.